Picture a Spanish plaza at dusk. The heat of the day is finally breaking. Families are strolling, children are kicking around a football, and the air is filled with the murmur of conversation and the clinking of glasses. It's an image of life, of community, of a culture that has mastered the art of living. Now imagine the plaza falling silent. The chatter fades, the storefronts are shuttered. The joy is replaced with nothing but hollow silence. This isn't just a metaphor. Across Spain, a demographic ghost story is unfolding in real time. The vibrant, passionate Spain that has captivated the world for centuries is vanishing, not from war or famine, but from a crisis of empty cradles, empty villages, and lost hope. The heartbeat of the nation is growing faint, driven by a catastrophic collapse in its birth rate. To maintain a population, a country needs 2.1 children per woman. Spain has cratered to a catastrophically low 1.1, according to the World Bank, one of the lowest numbers in the entire world. And while this isn't a new problem, it's accelerating with terrifying speed. The number of births in Spain recently fell to their lowest levels since records began in 1941, dropping to just 320,000 births in 2023. Spain officially entered a seemingly permanent negative natural growth in 2015, meaning more people die than are born every single year. In the last year alone, deaths outpaced births by more than 110,000 people. The most visceral sign of this decline is the hollowing out of the Spanish heartland. This phenomenon has a name: La España Vaciada, or Emptied Spain. Thousands of villages are slowly turning into ghost towns. Their schools closed, their streets empty. There are now over 3,500 verifiable abandoned villages scattered across the country. In vast provinces throughout Spain, the population density has fallen below 10 people per square kilometer, a level that the UN defines as a demographic desert. So why is this happening? To understand Spain's demographic collapse, you must understand the economic purgatory its young people have been trapped in for over a decade. The story of Spain's decline is in large part a story of youth unemployment. It's a national crisis that has crippled a generation's ability to build a future. Spain consistently has one of the highest youth unemployment rates in the entire European Union, with the rate for those under 25 currently sitting at a staggering 25.4%. You can't really build a nursery in your childhood bedroom. The economic despair of young Spaniards has led to a phenomenon known as late emancipation. Unable to find stable, well-paying jobs, young adults are forced to live with their parents well into their adult lives, delaying marriage, independence, and ultimately children. The average age for a young person to leave their parental home in Spain has now risen to 30.4 years, one of the highest in all of Europe. This economic reality has warped Spain's population pyramid into a tombstone. The structure is already dangerously top-heavy, signaling a future where the country is burdened by its own age. The median age in Spain has climbed to nearly 46 years old, and the elderly are no longer a small minority. Today, more than 20% of the entire Spanish population is over the age of 65, and their population pyramid looks far more like an arrowhead than any kind of pyramid. But the future population pyramid is where the true horror story lies. Projections show that by 2050, Spain's pyramid will be far more inverted, with those over 80 making up a massive portion of the population. By then, almost an unbelievable 37% of the entire population will be over the age of 60. This will cause the old age dependency ratio to explode, meaning the small cohort of working age people will be crushed under the weight of supporting a massive elderly population. And the ratio is projected to rise to roughly 60% by 2050. Like many aging nations, Spain has used immigration as a lifeline to keep its population from completely collapsing. Without it, the country's population decline would be far more severe. The constant flow of new arrivals, primarily from Latin America and North Africa, have propped up the workforce and added a vibrancy to Spanish cities. Today, foreign-born residents make up over 19% of the total population. But this has created its own paradox. Immigrants rarely will move to the dying villages of emptied Spain, which have little opportunity. They move to large dynamic cities like Madrid and Barcelona where the jobs are, where the opportunity is. So this doesn't solve the rural crisis while simultaneously adding immense pressure to the urban housing markets that are already unaffordable for the native population. The average rent in Barcelona has soared by a massive 53% in just the last decade. And the Spanish government is aware of the crisis. They've appointed a minister for the demographic challenge and have rolled out strategies to revitalize rural areas, offering financial incentives for people to move to the depopulated heartland. But these efforts are not working. The economic and cultural forces pulling the country apart are immensely powerful. The GDP of Spain's 4 largest communities make up well over 60% of their economy, while many of the other 15 regions are in a state of seemingly irreversible decline. So what is the future of the Spain that we once knew? It is a future of fewer people, but also it is a nation that is fundamentally rebalanced in a painful way. It will be a country of a few hyper-dense, expensive, and strained metropolitan urban areas surrounded by a vast, beautiful, and increasingly empty museum of a countryside. The land of sun, flamenco, and passion is facing a demographic collapse of its own making, born from the economic neglect of its own children. The silent plazas of Emptied Spain are not just a curiosity, they are a warning of what will happen when a country stops believing in its future, and in many respects, it is a glimpse into the future that we may all face. So how do you see Spain's demographic future playing out? Are they headed for a complete collapse, or can they manage a sustainable decline? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. This has been Blinded by Logic. Thanks for watching.